Good morning. This is Axe again, giving you an update on the BTC price action and where we are currently at. So what we're looking at here is, again, how I normally work things out. So we have these blue boxes indicate high time frame zones where we are looking for potential changes in the state of delivery or market structure shifts more on a high time frame, but we expect price to turn around there. Zooming out a little bit to the weekly to help understand where this box here, it's the, brokey here who doesn't have trading view. Let me see if we can zoom back in. There you go. So weekly bullish order block as noted here, right? So that's defined by the last down candle before the up move that broke the most recent market structure with conviction, with displacement, which was this candle here. These candles, I still don't really call them strong breaks above these current highs. They're more just wicks, so they don't really fully count yet. And therefore, this weekly bullish order block is respected in terms of all of that. And then below there, we have a monthly fair value gap and a monthly bullish order block. But in my opinion, if we were to go below this weekly bullish order block, I think the party's over. I think we're heading back down for another, 50, 60, 70% retracement and a bear market for Bitcoin. But for right now, I'm hopeful that we're still on our way up. And so far, the daily and the weekly are looking like we're getting a bullish return here. Now, looking at other pairs other than BTC USDC, when you look at the BTC USD pair, this wick isn't as strong and it doesn't go this low. So I think it stops here and then it's retested, revisited, goes lower on USD. And that might be a better one to look at. And kind of what we've been doing is ignoring this wick, so that's good. But the first one didn't go as low. I think it went to like 110 and now it's dipping into here, went all the way down to 103. And now we're coming up. And so all along, while price is trading into the weekly bullish order block, I've been saying, well, we should be looking for reasons to get bullish. We're in a bullish order block, let's get bullish. And that's exactly what we've been seeing here. But you don't just get bullish because it goes into the bullish order block. You wait for confirmation before trading. So for instance, we're in the daily bullish order block here. Say we're here on real time frame. Well, what are we doing? We're dipping down into here. Do we just long from here? No, absolutely not. You know how many times I have gotten myself quite literally screwed by longing or shorting just because we're getting to new all-time highs and I think it's time to turn around. That's called gambling and that's not called good trading. I did it again, I said last video, I did it all the way up here on this run. I'm new to this, I'm learning, this is part of the journey, but I did it all the way up this run trying to short, thinking we were going to get this pullback. Eventually I made it all back because we got this mega pullback and more, but I could have kept twice my amount of money if I had just waited for confirmation. So my trade method is to wait for the H1 confirmation. We're on the H1 right now. But to zoom out, we have the daily zones or H4 zones, and then we zoom into the H1 to get our confirmation for a market structure shift. And then after that, we look for what is our next order block within the H1 that we're going to wait for it to dip down to where we can then trade for that next trade idea. Doesn't always work, but you have a much higher probability of actually hitting those trades when you do it this way. So what I have here, and I'll walk through what my process was. We came down here. I did short some here. I talked about that on that video just because it traded into here and I shorted a good amount here. And then I closed my position and I was looking for reasons to get long. Trade into here. I knew some people I was following, Trader Main, other folks, they're longing down here. Hey, great for you guys. You're amazing. But it could have just as easily kept going lower and I could have lost money. So I didn't long. I decided to stay flat. This is Monday's range, the blue areas. This is your H1 break in market structure here. Let's act like this doesn't exist because it doesn't on many different pairs. And so then this really becomes your, if you're going to your horizontal ray, I got to get used to these shortcuts, Alt J. So this point here becomes your H1 market structure shift. When we get a displacement above this, that's when we're looking for reasons to get in and get long. So we got the confirmation. So this is going up. I was thinking about longer from here, but I decided not to because I felt it was the right thing to do. I could have zoomed in and saw a 15-minute market structure shift here and entered around here in this area for a long, but again, I didn't. I'm glad I didn't. I practiced conviction. That was the right call. And I waited. Price displaced up in here. All right, now I'm getting giddy and I'm waiting. And I think all this time, I think I even tried longing around here and then it dipped, but that was an early long and I was experiencing some FOMO because I didn't want to miss the move. But let's look at this move. So this is the leg that broke market structure here and here. And so this is the last down candle on the hourly that broke market structure to the upside. Okay, so we are then looking for price to then revisit that. You have a Monday high here, tops out, and now we're looking and hoping, sorry, but you're hoping because that's the setup for price to come down and dip back into that. And what does it do? Midnight, 1 in the morning, all throughout the night, Asian time, it's going into here. So I woke up honestly this morning and I saw, because I was sleeping all through a lot of this, because I like to get my rest, my Z's, my beauty rest. And I woke up this morning and said, this is great. I saw it was in my order block, and then I zoomed in. I zoomed into the 5-minute. Get out of here. Stop reminding me that I'm poor. I'm gonna be loaded one day. We're not gonna have to worry about not having the provision. Black Friday is coming up though, so I kind of want to do that. So I came down here. I woke up. It was 2 in the morning. Let's see, when did I wake up? It was kind of like longed it honestly, like 5 or 6 in the morning once I saw it was down here. But I was looking for some level of confirmation. So let's see if we can find it on the 5-minute. So we're going down. This is kind of the last leg to break the lower low. You kind of break above it up here. So we're breaking above it up here, right? So let's get that in. There's your spot. All right, market structure shift. You now want it to come down on the 5-minute and show that it's breaking. So I would even say market structure shift here, we're long in here, but I was sleeping here. So it came up again, 5 in the morning, I kind of longed it. I started to see it coming up in here and I was like, you know what? This is enough confirmation for me. And at the same time, this was Monday's low and it looks like we're retesting Monday's low here. Like, look at that. It looks like a perfect retest of Monday's low. And so that was enough for me. 1, 2, 3 retests in the 5-minute. I said, okay, let's long. I full bore longed here with a stop below this area. I think it was like 107,200 was my stop. Give it a little bit of space there for breathing room because Coinbase's perps market is brutal with some of the wicks sometimes. So yeah, I full bore longed, and I mean, look at the risk. Look at the R ratio on this long. I think it was like 107.7 somewhere in this range. For a long, we'll go down to 200 because that's around where I was. And like what is going on here? Like just a 12 R. It's just like, I mean, crushing it, like literally crushing it on this trade, which is great. Making a lot of money, definitely making the target for the week, but yeah, the market just has gone bonkers today. And that was a good trade. Definitely a good trade. So what am I doing now? So I'm thinking about doing something that I've learned from my guy Casper on YouTube, and it's something called price weighting. As you can see, we're kind of heading up into these bearish OBs, these bearish fair value gaps, and we've gone up pretty significantly. So I've gone and closed half my position and locked in some profit. Still not quite at my weekly profit for the week, but I think my goal would be to make sure I lock in. I mean, I'm like 2 to 3 times my weekly profit goals. So if I were to just close everything right now, but I think what I want to do now is practice smart trading, maybe do some price weighting, maybe not on the 5-minute. But I think what I decided to do for my setup was price weighting on the hourly. Unfortunately, if I did that, I wouldn't actually make any money if I was going to be price weighting. You have some hourly fair value gaps here, and here. I mean, we have a big move just from a fib perspective, I think there's a high chance that we then trade back down into these fair value gaps around to like the 110, 111 zone. I think there's a chance that we do that. I don't think we're just going to keep ripping higher. We kind of covered this with a wick. Don't get me wrong, it would be nice if we do, but I think we come down here and test this, or maybe even test, you know what, this is what I want to see happen. I want to see a testing of the Monday high. I don't want to see us break below the Monday high, because what could happen is something like, oh geez, I gotta remember these. Polyline, there's no shortcut for polyline. Nobody uses this much. So I'd like to see is like, if it is gonna come down, I'd like to see it test the Monday high and bounce off of it, reclaim it, and come up into this area. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'd love to see more highs. I'd love to see it just continue to go and break through this. Totally disrespect this daily fair value gap, bearish fair value gap, and break through this area. I don't know if it's going to do that. I don't know if it's going to do that. And if you look at talking about fibs here as well, because I know everybody uses them, your trade, we're not quite at the discount of this last leg, and we could, or the premium, I mean, we could get to this area here. That's probably a target area, 117.5, right? Might be an area we want. So we probably want to see a reclaim of Monday's high and then a break into this golden zone, which just happens to be lining up perfectly with the middle of this bearish daily fair value gap, which hasn't really been tested all that much. So yeah, I think honestly that's probably what we see. And then, where do we go from there? Do we go up or down? Do we go from here? Do we come back down and create a, another low in here and retest these zones before then, maybe then coming up and hitting another all-time high and go into the, 150 area? Or do we just nuke? Do we just nuke and go down? Or do we just keep going bonkers? Hit the wrong thing. Do we just keep going bonkers up here? And, we're retesting, reclaiming the all-time. I don't know where it goes, but I think the next most likely move, I hope, is something like this, where we might retest Monday's. Maybe we don't retest Monday's low and we just go up to the middle of this fair value gap and crush through it or get rejected. So I start to get a little cautious with my profit. I think the most likely spot where I might then do price weighting is below Monday's high. So maybe we're talking like 111.5. I set my stop loss. That'll probably set my profit. We could do maybe like 111.3. That'll probably get my profit locked in for the week, even if the stop loss gets hit. But I'd kind of just let the rest of it run, and we hope that BTC does its thing this week and it just keeps going higher, and that profit gets doubled, tripled, quadrupled going up into these zones. I think I'm going to consider getting out of it, to be honest, if we get up into these zones and we have yet to, we start to see a rejection, because I think it makes a lot of sense for price to come up in here and start to get rejection and then roll over and come back down before it then comes higher. I think that's just how these things work. But hey, it's October 21st. So far this month, it's not been October. It's been Downtober a little bit. So who knows? Maybe we don't get a retest. Maybe anything goes down. We just go straight to the moon from here. And October is, ends about 140, 150K. That'd be great. But, there's nothing set in stone here. I'm rambling at this point. I think I've said where I think we're going to go. I think I've laid it out pretty clearly. I think where we're at, I'm already in a trade. I'm in a long. I hope it continues to go higher. And if it doesn't, yeah, that sucks. But I hope, if anything, we retest this and we don't go all the way down here and just nuke. But even if we do, I'm locking in my weekly profit and I'm set for the week. And I'll come back with a new plan later. But that's it, guys. I don't think anyone's listening. This is all for myself, not financial advice. But if you are listening, I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day. Good luck out there. Stay safe.